Thank you for the follow, STC. Appreciate that. 3 panels left for a full 100% playthrough. First time ever playing this game. Playthrough. Probably, well, no, definitely not the last. HS, how we doing? We were ready for one last hurrah. On this game at least. You're ready and not so ready. And also not ready. Yeah. I'm a bit late, so I was trying to sort out the first VOD. First VOD upload to my YouTube, which been pain in the butt, so I had to do a scheduled video, which will be going live in 12 minutes of my first VOD. I was messing about with a lot of stuff trying to get that to stupid. Well, I've not done YouTube in ages, and it was just really finicky. Yeah, so if you do exclamation point YouTube, that should take you to my channel, hopefully. And then exclamation point video will be a link to the first VOD upload, which will be live in, well, 11 minutes on the hour, basically. So, and I'm going to upload all of my VODs for this game onto there. That'd be really handy. Yeah, that's my, well, I hope that works. It's been a while since commands have been used in my chat. And then video will take you directly there, but it might say private. So just hold off on the video one until, like, just over 10 minutes time. Where are we going? We're going this way. Oh. Are we ready? Are we ready for this? Right. One last hurrah. Right, let's pull up stream on my phone so I know everything's golden. Three panels to go. Gotta think about this. Yeah, we gotta remember from bunker. And I've had my chocolate, so we should be good to go. He says. Right, so we've got odd number of coloured squares each. It feels like forever since bunker. It feels like forever since I did a puzzle, to be honest. Yesterday was just one massive scavenger hunt and I loved it. So if I keep one separate black to go with that other black. Yep, Stealthfishies. We've got, these were the missing 2 panels that we couldn't work out what was missing. We got 1 video panel and then these 2. So yeah, gotta have a jog down memory lane now to get these. Should I? This is a question. I suppose I should change the colour of this room. We're on green. think the middle one's blue. I don't think oh no, I did change it red, didn't I? That make a difference? Okay. God, that just hurts my eyes. So that's right, because that's... Got to remember these colours. Oh, yes, screenshot. Good point. I was just about to say that I should do pictures. That red is ouchy on the eyes. Actually, what we'll do is take a screenshot of this and we'll alternate. Right, and we want to go probably back to green. Green is that one. Colour changing is ouchy. Now we need to go blue. Which blue is the right one, if I remember rightly? No, it's this one, left one. There. So, that way. Nope. Oh, yeah, I'm an idiot. That's got to go like that. It's going to be weird once I finish this game. And I'd have to... oh, it's weird colouring on my phone. Showing the white. Eh. Yeah. I'll delete all these screenshots off my phone eventually. Proper end of an era. I can't seem to pick up... there we go. It's best I can do. Right, we're going to start on this one though. We'll do squares and we'll end on the stars. But... Right, so on the red one, that one was a different colour above. Same. That's all the same. So blue, we got a different colour. Excuse me. Right, so that far top left square is a different colour as well in green as well as blue. I suppose if I go up here first. Right. Then do I come back down? No, that wouldn't work. No, that would work, wouldn't it? 'Cause if I can then cut that off there. But no, that wouldn't work. Oh, wait, if I need more space in the middle. Right, green. Blue, they're all one colour, but green, they're all one colour. Red, they're all one colour. So have I got to have these all grouped up together? Just delete that picture for everyone. So that's all white. So I'm thinking like that. Right, let me just double check this. So bottom left squares. On red, that one that I've signaled out is white on that. Bottom right. On blue you have white. Top left, blue you have white. And on green that's a different colour. Think I've got this? And good call on the screenshot, because I would have just, yep, tried to go it on a wing and a prayer. Whew. Okay. Five, two, one. 5, 2, 1. Hey, look, I've become a pro at this game now. I haven't really. Right. So, let's delete square pictures. So, on green, that's square, that star's a different colour. Oh, we gotta remember, wait, are stars... No, stars are treated the same as squares, aren't they? In terms of colour grouping, if I remember correctly. Rhetorical question. Rhetorical question. Just worked out. Yeah, it's... As stupid as it is with the amount of screenshots I've taken, I didn't think of pictures until it was like, oh yeah, just... Essentially you're overlapping the pictures so you can see which one changes. Right. So on green, that's a different colour. That's a different colour. On red, that's a different colour. That's a different colour. Right, this one up here is a different colour. No, okay. We did that one wrong. Perhaps we grouped it up wrong. Oh, wait. I've separated the ones, but perhaps I'm supposed... I think... Yeah, I know what I did. I think I know what I did. I should have grouped up the whites together much as possible. And that's where I went wrong. Oh, wrong. So what if I go like... Oh, scrolling. Oh no, that wouldn't work. If I go around that way... Right, they're all the same colour. Well, they're not, but you know what I mean. Well, they are, but no, they're not. Wait, no. Yeah, no, that's right. I think. Sorry, made yourself doubt. Right, so that becomes a black. I think that. No. Right. Don't you love how indecisive I am? I've got over 44 hours into this game and I'm still indecisive as heck. I wonder what if... No. No. Can't I have a pair of coloured stars in with a different... So I could have a pair of white stars grouped with black stars, I think, if I remember the stars correctly. Right, so that's all the same. They're all... That stays black. Oh my god. I can understand what you guys are saying about this puzzle now. See, it's only that one changes colour. Wait, doesn't stars have to be... They have to be in pairs. There has to be an even number of stars. You can't have one star on its... one white star on its own. There has to be another one with it. Yes. Right. That's where I'm going wrong. Look, everyone's a star inside. We all need a buddy system. So according under the green light, that star's a white star. And under the red light, that star's a white star. You'd have 2 black up top, 2 black down the bottom, plus 2 white. Okay. Now how do you add in this side? I'm gonna be honest with you. Watching that guy, Blake, last night, it's nice to be on the other side, watching someone, like, rack their brains. Right, so we've got... Down over to the right. Yeah, it's like... I was like, kick back, relax, and she's like... I don't know if it's because I played it now, and I'm just like, oh, I see that, just do this, just do that. But yeah, it's much easier to be on the other side. Being the viewer, not the streamer. Right, so they're all white on blue. There's 1 black on green. So we're at an even number right now. What is... So they're all black, black, white up the top on red. I just bet for any issues. Well, I thought this was a simple but pretty puzzle game, you know? I didn't read any of the reviews. I just saw it and I was like, oh, it's on cheap. This looks cool. Has positive like percentage of reviews, but I didn't read any reviews. I went in blind. Right, 1, 2. That's red. That's white. We got 1 black. Start with the top. The top are all... so... Gonna do... The side swipe on my phone's real right now as I keep flicking between them 3 pictures. Right, so this square is black. We know that. But the top one. How many have we got? We got 1, 2 black, 4 black. We have 4 black right now. 4 black, 2 white in this little group. See, I don't know if we have to include some others in this group or if it becomes a separate group. Alright, so let's look at the top. So that's shown as white, so if that's white... No, wait. Ah! What the heck do I... We'll just swipe left and type, oh my... Shut up. We will get it! And then it's just 52-minute video to enjoy. Oh, and one more environmental puzzle. How could I forget that? Right, so all of down the bottom right is all white except from that one. So we can't include that in this group because we've already got 2 white. But we could include 2 black. What's my bottom right again? Yeah, so they're all white. Bottom right is all white on the 9. Oh, no, we could. Right, so these top lot are all white, except from that one. That one here is black. So we could technically, if we do that, so them 2 are white, so we've got 4 white, 4 black in a group. Then we got 2 white and a black. Oh, forgot about the others on the other side. I thought I got it then. We got 2 white, a black, a white, 2, so 4 white, 2 black. 4 white, 2 black. And a black, black. I think that's right. Yes! 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 I was like narrowing down on this whole thing. There has to be more. Should be more black, but there's 2 white right in front of me. I was wrong. It's actually 55 minutes. You can do this all in your head without any paint notes or anything. What? What? What did I do? It's because, again, I just concentrate on one thing, and I was like, there could be 2 black involved. My brain hurts. I solved this in my head. What do you mean? Wait, that was a question. I noticed, like, he had like just notes of drawings and stuff. I've got screenshots. That's all I've used. I've in other games, yeah, I use drawings and squiggles. When I was playing my detective game, I had so many notes when I was playing that. But literally, my phone is I've just got screenshots on my phone. That's all I've got. You had to make a bunch of notes in paint over those screenshots. I just kept swiping left and right. Perhaps I see weird, you know, like people have an ability to see things that aren't necessarily there. Or perhaps I'm just blind. Perhaps I'm colorblind, I don't know. Not that you can be colorblind and get a color quiz puzzle right. It's just ignore. You don't need it. Oh, right. I didn't know what you meant. Like, I just, honestly, I've got the 3 pictures and I just keep swiping. And I was looking at, it's taking the groups of 4, the 4 groups of 4, and working in one group at a time, and then seeing how you can connect them with the other groups. That was kind of my game plan. Again, you saw I was like, I think this is right. But again, like, it's this whole thing of, I get on like a one-track mind, because I was like, concentrate on the blacks. Which one's blacks? Which one's black? And if I'd have just looked at the white, I probably would have got it quicker, but you know. I did it! Smiley face. We did it. Did it. Did it. What are we looking at? It's the pain that these puzzles have gave you, sir or ma'am. Little clap. I just did the last 2 puzzles. I will show you what I ever just did. I did. We got this one. And we just did this one. I got a little bit stuck. I was more stuck on this one than I was that one. Because I forgot about the rules of the stars. Yeah, I took pictures of the different, from under the different coloured lighting. And I was just constantly swiping back and forth and working on the 4 groups of 4. But yeah, so just a quick one puzzle to go. It's moving right now. I'm just, you know, I'm just, what I keep saying, I'm so much better at doing puzzles first thing when I start streaming than when I turn into a potato later on. I seem to beat all those really hard puzzles first thing. If I try to attempt it later in the stream, I can't do them. Got something you can do amazing. Oh, thank you. I don't know. Oh, I need my other picture now. Yeah, I was just a bit like taken aback because you guys know your thing. I was like, have I done? Oh, I'm going the wrong way. Look, I just beat that puzzle, but I'm still going the wrong way because welcome to my head. Last puzzle hype, yeah. So we got last E. Oh, let's look at the EP quickly. Wait, I can go this way out, can't I? I go this way out, it's quicker. We'll look at what the shape of the last EP is before we start. So it's definitely man-made because that is straight as heck, but then that bends down like that. I think that's Christoph 1000. Thank you for the follow, appreciate it. That's definitely got to be man-made shape. Just don't know what that bit is. Although that is still kind of, it's not naturally curvy. Yeah, we got the last video to go, which I believe is going to hold the clue, so we're just going to head there. And it's the long one, so sit back and enjoy. I didn't notice this white tubing before. Right, where are we going? Oop. Oh yeah, I've just seen Maul's last message. So I won't read whatever's previous to that message.
How many of you here have personally witnessed a total eclipse of the sun? To stand one day in the shadow of the moon is one of my humble goals in life. The closest I ever came was over 30 years ago. On February 26, 1979, a solar eclipse passed directly over the city of Portland. I bought my bus tickets and found a place to stay, but in the end, I couldn't get the time off work. Well, anyone who lives in Portland can tell you that the chances of catching the sun in February are pretty slim.
Thank you for the follow, dude.
The skies over the city that day were completely overcast. I wouldn't have seen a thing. That work I couldn't get out of was my first job out of college. A sales clerk at an old Radio Shack store in beautiful downtown. Front of the store. They carried in a big carton upon which was printed the legend TRS-80. It was our floor sample of the world's first mass-market microcomputer. The TRS-80 Model 1 had a Z80 processor clocked at 1.7 MHz, 4,096 bytes of memory, and a 64-character black and white text display.
So obviously this is the thing. How do we...
The store I was working in had seen better days. At one time, it had been in the center of a thriving commercial district. But like so many other American cities,
white. We need white. White, white, white.
The city's elders apparently decided that if they couldn't beat them, they would join them. And so, several square blocks at the heart of the city were bulldozed into oblivion, destroying dozens of family businesses, including the site of a pharmacy once operated by my
is the moon moving?
In their place was a vast 3-level shopping complex with cinemas and a food court.
I think it's moved away.
When the dust settled, only a few forlorn blocks of the old Worcester remained standing. My Radio Shack store was in one of those blocks. Then, to add insult to
Restart
injury,
video. Okay, we'll do that.
inside the shopping center, less than 500 feet
Oh, what
from
am I
my
doing? No,
store.
I can do it that way. The moon moves. Ah! Well, I mean, that's obvious. But yeah. Funny enough, I looked at that when we came in because I've never looked at it before. It's different colour to the rest of everything.
How many of you here have personally witnessed a total eclipse of the sun?
Oh yeah.
To stand one day in the shadow of the moon is one of my humble goals in life. The closest I ever came was over 30 years ago. On February 26, 1979, a solar eclipse passed directly over the city of Portland. I bought my bus tickets and found a place to stay, but in the end, I couldn't get the time.
Doesn't even matter.
Well, anyone who lives in Portland can tell you that the chances of catching the sun in February are pretty slim.
What am I
sure
missing
enough,
here?
The skies over the city that day were completely overcast.
Did I not?
I wouldn't have seen it.
No.
That work I couldn't get out of was my first job out of college.
Oh, is it one
A
of
sales
these?
clerk in an old Radio Shack store in beautiful downtown Worcester, Massachusetts. On my very first day behind the counter, a delivery truck pulled up to the front of the store.
Have I got to wait
They
for the
carried
moon
in
to
a
get
big
to the other
carton
end?
Upon which was printed the legend TRS-80. It was our floor sample.
I have
of the
actually. I've
world's
seen
first
one
mass-market
total eclipse
microcomputer.
when I was a kid.
The TRS-80 Model
weird.
1 had a Z80 processor
It's super
clocked
weird.
at 1.7 megahertz, 4,096 bytes of
Don't
memory,
misclick.
and a
Oh,
64-character
gosh.
black and white text display.
Oh, I just
The only
realised
storage
something.
was a cassette recorder. All this could be yours for the low price
Yeah.
of $599.
Okay.
The store I was working in
Now I understand
had
what
seen
Christoph
better
was saying.
days. At one time, it had been near the center of a thriving commercial district. But like so many other New England cities, the advent of shopping malls had, by the early 70s, turned it into a ghost town.
Ah.
Worcester's solution to this problem was decisive, to say the least. The city's elders apparently decided that if they couldn't beat them, they would join them. And so, several square blocks at the heart of the city were bulldozed into oblivion, destroying dozens of family businesses, including the site of a pharmacy once operated by my great-grandfather. In their place was erected a vast 3-level shopping complex with cinemas and a food court. When the dust settled, only a few forlorn blocks of the old Worcester remained standing. My Radio Shack store was in one of those blocks. Then, to add insult to injury, Radio Shack opened a brand new location inside the shopping center, less than 500 feet from my store. So now patrons had a choice between a clean, well-lighted establishment with uniformed security and acres of convenient parking, or a shadowy hole in a seedy old office building next to an adult movie theater. Consequently, I had plenty of time to fool around with the new computer. I taught myself basic programming. Then I learned Z80 assembly. Both, of course, so that I could write games. I also created self-running animated demos, which ran all night in the store window for the edification of the winos who peed in our doorway. Strangely enough, the few customers we had didn't seem to be interested in our new computer, even after the 16K memory upgrade. In fact, most of the people who set off the buzzer on their way through the front door weren't there to buy anything at all. They were there to exploit a free promotion, which was the bane of Radio Shack employees for over 40 years. The Battery of the Month Club. The idea of this promotion was simple. Customers got a little red card, upon which was printed a square for each month.
Yep, we are sitting well and truly
12 times a year, the lucky sales clerk got to punch out a square and give the customer one brand new AAA, AA, C, D, or 9-volt battery. Of course, customers weren't allowed to choose just any grade of battery. At the time of my employment, Radio Shack offered 3 different levels of battery excellence. First were the alkalines, powerful, long-lasting, and expensive, hanging behind the counter like prescription medication in gold-embossed blister packs. These were most certainly not available through the Battery of the Month Club. Next were the high-end lead batteries, sturdy, dependable batteries, moderately priced, and prominently displayed near the front of the store. These were also not available through the Battery of the Month Club. Finally, at the bottom of the barrel were the standard lead batteries. These were literally piled in barrels, cunningly located way at the back of the store, in a dark corner near the TV antennas. Remember TV antennas? Customers who came in looking for their free Battery of the Month had to walk the entire length of the premises, past the CB radios and stereo headphones and remote-controlled racing cars. Nothing would stop them. On the first day of every month, like clockwork, those customers came in waving their little red cards. I would look up from my programming and wave them to the back of the store. It didn't matter that the batteries were only worth 29 cents. It didn't matter that most of them were already half dead. They came, they grabbed. And as far as I can remember, not one of them ever paid for a damned thing. I was such a crappy salesman. I was young and foolish. I thought my education in game design was happening at the keyboard. I almost missed the lesson coming through the front door. Fortunately, I wasn't the only person fooling around with games on micros. All over the country, people like me were experimenting. Scott Adams was coding what would soon become the world's first commercial adventure game. Remember adventure games? My future employer, Infocom, was being founded, along with other legendary companies like Online Systems, Sirius, Personal Software, and SSI. Those were exciting times. Teenagers were making fortunes. Games were cheap and easy to build. The slate was clean. But in 1979, the biggest news in gaming had nothing to do with computers. On the morning of the autumn equinox, September 20th, a new children's picture book appeared in the stores of Great Britain. This picture book was rather peculiar. It consisted of 15 meticulously detailed color paintings, illustrating a slight, whimsical tale about a rabbit delivering a jewel to the moon. On the back jacket of the book was a color photograph of a real jewel, shaped like a running rabbit, 5 inches long, fashioned of 18-karat gold, suspended with ornaments and bells, together with a sun and moon of blue quartz. According to the blurb underneath, this very jewel had been buried somewhere in England. Clues pointing to its location were concealed in the text and in the pictures of the book. The treasure would belong to whoever found it first. The book was called Masquerade. It was created by an eccentric little man with divergent eyes and a talent for mischief named Kit Williams. Within days, the first printing was sold out, and the empire that never sleeps found itself in the grip of rabbit fever. Excited readers attacked the paintings with rulers, compasses, and protractors. Magazine articles and TV specials dissected the clues, floated theories, and followed with keen delight the reckless exploits of the fanatics. One obscure park, unfortunately known by the nickname Rabbit Hill, was so riddled with holes excavated by misguided treasure seekers that the authorities had to erect signs assuring the public that no gold rabbits were to be found there.
My God.
Some hunters ended up seeking psychological counseling for their obsession. The craze leapt over the Atlantic Ocean and invaded America, France, Italy, and Germany. It sold over 1 million copies in a few months, a record unrivaled by any children's title until the advent of Harry Potter. Over 150,000 copies were sold in foreign translations, including 80,000 copies in Japanese, despite the fact that the puzzle was only solvable in English. It didn't matter that the Masquerade Jewel was only worth a few $1,000s. Many seekers spent far more than that in their months of exploration and travel. It was the thrill of the chase, the possibility of being the one. Treasure hunts, secret messages, and hidden things seem to exert an irresistible appeal. They're fun to look for and to talk about, and this fact of human psychology has been exploited in computer games since the earliest days. It finds expression in the hidden surprises we call Easter eggs.
Oh my god.
Atari's Stephen Wright is credited with coining this term in the first issue of Electronic Games magazine. The first Easter egg in a commercial computer game appeared in an early Atari 2600
So you guys know
cartridge
that
called, simply enough,
I'm a
Adventure.
completionist. I have to do 100%
By a
of stuff,
sequence
so
of unlikely movements
yeah, I love
and
finding
obscure
Easter eggs.
manipulations, players could discover a secret room where the words "created by Warren Robinette" appeared in flashing letters. Over the decades, Easter eggs and their evil twin, cheat codes, have become an industry within an industry. Entire magazines and websites are now devoted to their carefully orchestrated discovery and dissemination. They're part of our toolkit, our basic vocabulary, the language of computer game design. Computer gamers may have been the first to refer to hidden surprises as Easter eggs, but we certainly weren't the first to use them. Painters, composers, and artists of every discipline have been hiding stuff in their works for centuries. The recent advent of VCRs and Laserdisc players with freeze-frame capability exposed decades of secret Disney erotica.
Oh my god.
Thomas Kincaid, the self-appointed painter of
Hey,
light,
we got a
amuses
Thomas
himself
Kincaid
by hiding the
painting
letter
because my
N
mum really
in
likes
his
his work.
works. A number beside his signature indicates how many N's are hidden in each painting. Picasso,
crazy.
Dali, Raphael, Poussin, and dozens of other painters concealed all kinds of stuff in their paintings. A favorite trick was hiding portraits of themselves, their families, friends, and fellow artists in crowd scenes. El Greco loved dogs.
Funny
But
enough,
the Catholic Church
as
forbid
dumb
him
as this
from
sounds,
including any in
I
his
know
sacred
some of that
paintings.
stuff because stupid
So he
BuzzFeed
hid them,
articles.
Usually
You know, they have
within
such
the
random
outlines of
articles.
celestial clouds.
Yeah, they've had one on Disney
Composer
Erotica.
Dmitri Shostakovich chafed under the political censorship imposed by the Soviet Ministry of Culture. His symphonies and chamber works are loaded with hidden signatures and subversive subtexts, which, had they been recognized, would have sent him to Siberia. Mozart's opera, The Magic Flute, is filled with musical allusions to the rituals of the Freemasons, the ancient secret society of which he and his mentor Haydn were members. But the most famous purveyor of Easter eggs is that champion of the late Baroque, the ultimate musical nerd.
The ultimate
Johann
musical
Sebastian
nerd.
Bach.
I love that.
Bach was a student of gematria, the art of assigning numeric values to letters of the alphabet. A equals 1, B equals 2, C equals 3, etc. By comparing, sequencing, or otherwise manipulating these numbers, secret messages can be concealed. Bach took particular delight in the geometrical numbers 14 and 41. 14 is the sum of the initials of his last name. B equals 2, A equals 1, C equals 3, and H equals 8. 41 is the sum of his expanded initials, J.S. Bach. These two numbers show up over
I will
and
say
over
there was a
again
couple
in
which were
Bach's
just like,
compositions.
what the heck? Why am I
One
sitting
of
there
the
listening to
better-known
him?
examples
This
is
isn't
his
too bad,
setting
this
of the
one.
chorale Vor deinem Thron.
It's actually entertaining.
The first line of the melody contains exactly 14 notes, and the entire melody, from start to finish, contains 41. Another of Bach's favorite games was the puzzle canon. A canon is a melody that sounds good when you play it on top of itself, a little bit out of sync. Frere Jacques and Row, Row, Row Your Boat are familiar examples of simple, two-voice canons. But a canon can employ any number of voices. And you don't have to play each voice the same way either. You can change the octave, transpose the key, invert the pitch, play it backwards, or any combination. Finding melodies that make good multi-voice canons is a fussy and difficult art, of which Bach was an undisputed master. Now, in a puzzle canon, the composer specifies the basic melody and the number of voices, but not the relationship of the voices. The student has to figure out the position and key of each voice, and whether to perform them inverted and/or backwards. Bach wrote quite a number of puzzle canons. The most famous, BWV 1076, is part of a fascinating story. One of Bach's students was a fellow by the name of Lorenz Misler, founder of the Society of Musical Science. This elite, invitation-only institution devoted itself to the study of Pythagorean philosophy and the union of music and mathematics. Its distinguished membership reads like a who's who of German composers, including Handel, Telemann, and eventually Mozart. Applicants for membership in the society were required to submit an oil portrait of themselves, along with a specimen of original music. With nerdly efficiency, Society member number 14 decided to combine these admission requirements into a single work. He sat for a portrait with Elias Haussmann, official artist at the court of Dresden. This portrait, which now hangs in the gallery of the town hall in Leipzig, is the only indisputably authentic image of Bach in existence. The Haussmann portrait shows Bach dressed in a formal coat with exactly 14 buttons. In his hand is a sheet of music paper, upon which is written a puzzle canon for 6 simultaneous voices. In 1974, a manuscript was discovered which proved that this canon was the 13th in a series of exactly 14 canons based on the ground theme of the famous Goldberg variations. As if these musical gymnastics weren't enough, Bach liked to hide messages in his compositions by assigning notes to the letters. His initials, B-A-C-H, correspond to the pitch sequence B flat, A, C, and B natural in German letter notation. This theme makes its most memorable appearance in the last bars of his final composition, The Art of Fugue, published soon after his death in 1750. The word fugue comes from the Latin fuga,
Oh my god, we're going into Latin
flight,
now.
as in running away. So the art of fugue is the art of flight, the art of taking a
Can we
theme
go back to talking
and
about
running
Easter
with it.
eggs? Video games.
Bach wrote hundreds of fugues, but none as sublime as this sequence of 14. In the last and most complicated fugue in the series, the first and second sections develop normally. This is followed by the B-A-C-H signature, and then suddenly, without any warning or structural justification, the fugue stops, dead in its tracks. One of the composer's 20 children, his son Carl Philipp Emanuel, claimed that Bach died moments after those last few notes were written. This story is probably apocryphal. The Easter eggs in Bach's music are a pleasant obscurity, known chiefly to professors and students of Baroque music. But in March of 2002, when this lecture was first delivered, those Easter eggs were the talk of the entire classical music industry. Sitting near the top of the classical music charts that month was a compact disc on the ECM label called Morimer. It was performed by the Hilliard Choral Ensemble, together with a talented but, until then, little-known violinist, Christoph Poppen. The music on Morimer is based on a geometrical analysis of Bach's Partita in D minor for solo violin. This analysis, by German professor Helga Thon, assigns numeric values to the duration of notes, the number of bars, and the German letter notation of the partita. In doing so, she claims to have discovered the complete text of several liturgical ceremonies encoded in the notes. The CD presented these hidden texts superimposed over the original music. The result was strangely melancholy, dark, haunting, and very, very popular. Quite a few music critics attacked this disc. They didn't buy Professor Thone's analysis, dismissing it as a combination of numerology and canny marketing. Their caution was not without basis. Numerology is a slippery slope down which many a fine mind has slid to its doom. Allow me to offer an amusing anecdote from my own experience. Back in the early 90s, before the internet took off, one of the more popular online bulletin board systems was a service called Prodigy. I bought an account on Prodigy so I could join a fraternal interest group and gossip with fellow members around the country. One day, a stranger appeared on our bulletin board. Right away, I knew we were in trouble. This fellow, whose name was Gary, began spouting all kinds of apocalyptic nonsense about worldwide conspiracies, secret societies, and devil worship.
Hey, it's like Twitter of today.
At first, we tried to be polite. We questioned his sources, corrected his histories, logically refuted his claims, and tried to behave in a civilized manner. But instead of soothing him, our attention only made him worse. His conspiratorial warnings became urgent, approaching hysteria. He began to threaten people who disagreed with him. To coin a phrase,
that last line.
Gary went all uppercase.
He went all shouty.
But his most urgent warnings weren't about the gays, the Jews, the Rockefellers, or the Illuminati. According to Gary, the greatest enemy of mankind was Santa Claus.
Really?
Gary claimed to possess a secret numerical formula that proved beyond a shadow of a doubt that Santa Claus was an avatar of the Antichrist. Intrigued, we pressed Gary to reveal his formula. In doing so, we walked right into his trap. We should have known he had a book to sell. I fell for it. I sent him the 15 bucks. Less than a week later, the book arrived. Above an ominous photograph of the Washington Monument was emblazoned the title, 666, The Final Warning. Inside this privately printed 494-page monster, Gary reveals a simple geometrical formula, which he claims was developed by the ancient Sumerians. This formula assigns successive products of 6 to each letter of the alphabet. A equals 6, B equals 12, C equals 18, etc. Imagine my dismay when I applied this ancient formula to the name Santa Claus and obtained the blasphemous sum of 666, the biblical number.
But he's
of
also
the
called
beast.
Father Christmas.
I went on Prodigy and reported to the stunned members of our interest group that Gary was right after all. There could be no doubt that according to the unimpeachable wisdom of ancient Samaria, Santa Claus was the Antichrist. I then went on to point out several other names which, when submitted to Gary's formula, also produced the sum 666. Names like St. James,
New York,
and New Mexico. Soon the bulletin board was filled with discoveries like computer, Boston tea, and most sinister of all, sing karaoke. Gary left us alone after that. I got my $15 worth.
Oh my god.
But Gary is hardly the first person to connect secret codes to the Bible. People have been looking for Easter eggs in the Bible for hundreds of years. The Hebrew mystical tradition of Kabbalah can be described as a geometrical meditation on the Pentateuch, the first 5 books of the Old Testament. The advent of computers has made the application of numerology to the Bible fast and efficient. The latest spate of Bible searching was instigated by a book published in 1998 by Michael Drosnin, a former Wall Street Journal reporter. His book, The Bible Code, applied a skip cipher in which every nth character in a text is combined to form a message.
We're not talking about the
By
Boston
applying
tea.
his skip cipher to the Hebrew
British.
text of the Old
We're talking
Testament,
about that.
Drosnin claimed to have discovered predictions of World War II, the Holocaust, Hiroshima, the assassination of Yitzhak Rabin and both Kennedys, the moon landing, Watergate,
Oh my
the Oklahoma
God.
City bombing, the election of Bill Clinton, the death of Princess Di, and the comet that collided with Jupiter. He also found predictions of a giant earthquake in LA, a meteor hitting the Earth, and nuclear Armageddon, all scheduled to occur before the end of the last decade. The
Thank you
Bible
for the
Code
follow,
spent
underscore
many
one. I
weeks
appreciate
on the
that.
bestseller lists, spawning several sequels and dozens of imitators. The Bible has certainly attracted its share of crackpots, but for the real hardcore egg hunters, nothing can rival the ingenuity, the tenacious scholarship, the stubborn zeal of those who seek the answer to the ultimate literary puzzle. A poisonous conundrum that has squandered fortunes, destroyed careers, and driven healthy, intelligent scholars to the brink of madness and beyond. Who wrote Shakespeare?
Oh God, not this.
The essays and books devoted to the Shakespeare
these.
authorship problem are sufficient to fill a large library. Several
Hey,
such
I've been to
libraries
William
actually
Shakespeare's
exist.
house.
Not even a
And his wife's
day-long
house.
tutorial, much less an hour lecture, can begin to do justice to this complex, bizarre, and dangerously tantalizing story. Nevertheless, for the unacquainted, I will attempt to summarize the issue in a few paragraphs. The undisputed facts of Shakespeare's life and career could be scribbled on the back of a cocktail napkin. We know for a fact that a man named William Shakespeare was born in 1564 in or around the village of Stratford-upon-Avon. We know that he had a wife and at least 3 children. We know he bought property in Stratford, was involved in several lawsuits with his neighbors, and died there in 1616, aged 52. We also know that during those same years, a man with a last name similar to Shakespeare worked as an actor on the London stage, eventually becoming co-owner of some of the theaters there. We also know that about the same time, a number of most excellent poems and plays were published in London under the name Shakespeare. We do not know for a fact that the landowner in Stratford and the actor in London with a similar last name were one and the same man. We do not know for a fact that either man had anything to do with the poems and the plays. All we know is that those poems and plays have, in the 400 years since their composition, come to be regarded as a pinnacle of Western culture. The works attributed to Shakespeare appear to have been written by a man or woman who knew something about just about everything.
Oh, please don't tell
They're
me
filled with
Shakespeare's
references
the
to
Antichrist
mythology
as well.
and classic literature, games and sports, war and weapons of war, ships and sailing, the law and legal terminology, court etiquette, statesmanship, horticulture, music, astronomy, medicine, falconry, and, of course, theater. Therein lies the problem. How could a farmer's son of uncertain schooling, from a mostly illiterate country village, a man of practically no account at all, wield such encyclopedic learning, with so much eloquence and wit, so much wisdom and human understanding? For the first 150 years, nobody questioned the traditional history of the bard. Then, in the late 18th century, Reverend James Wilmot, a distinguished scholar who lived just a few miles north of Stratford, decided to write a biography of the famous playwright. Dr. Wilmot believed that a man as well educated as Shakespeare must have owned a fairly extensive library, despite the fact that not a single book or manuscript is mentioned in his will. Over the years, he speculated, some of those books must have found their way into local collections. And so, the good Reverend Doctor scoured the British countryside, taking inventory of literally every bookshelf within 50 miles of Stratford. Not a single book from the library of William Shakespeare was discovered. Neither were there found any letters to, from, or about Shakespeare. Furthermore, no references to the folklore, local sayings, or distinctive dialect of the Stratford area could be found in any of Shakespeare's writings. After 4 years of painstaking research, Dr. Wilmot concluded, to his own dismay, that only one person contemporary with Shakespeare of Stratford had ever demonstrated the wide-ranging education and expressive talent needed to compose those poems and plays. That man was the multilingual author, philosopher, and statesman, inventor of the scientific method, Chancellor to the courts of Queen Elizabeth and King James, Sir Francis Bacon. Dr. Wilmot never dared to publish his theory, but before he died, he confided it to a friend, James Cowell, who, in 1805, repeated it to a meeting of the Ipswich Philosophical Society. The members of the society were suitably outraged, and the scandalous matter was quickly forgotten. Then, in 1857, a lady from Stratford, Connecticut, published a book called The Philosophy of the Plays of Shakespeare Unfolded. In this book, Miss Delia Bacon, no relation to Francis, claimed that the works of Shakespeare were written by a secret cabal of British nobility, including Sir Walter Raleigh and Sir Philip Sidney, as well as Sir Francis Bacon. Delia Bacon's book electrified the world of letters. Battle lines were drawn between the orthodox Stratfordians and the heretical Baconians.
Oh my God.
Literary societies and scholarly journals were formed to debate the evidence. Hundreds of pamphlets, newspaper articles, and essays were published defending each side and ridiculing the opposition with that self-aggrandizing viciousness peculiar to tenured academics. Armed with her explosive book, Delia Bacon journeyed to Stratford-upon-Avon and, unbelievably, obtained official permission to open Shakespeare's grave. However, when the moment came to actually lift the stone, Delia's self-doubt precipitated a catastrophic nervous breakdown. She later died penniless in a madhouse. Around 1888, things began to get a bit out of hand. U.S. Congressman Ignatius Donnelly of Minnesota became interested in the Shakespeare controversy. One day, browsing through his facsimile copy of the First Folio of 1623, he noted that the word bacon appeared on page 53 of the Histories and also on page 53 of the Comedies. He also noted that Sir Francis Bacon had written extensively on the subject of cryptography. Donnelly began counting line and page numbers, adding and subtracting letters, drawing lines over sentences, circling words, and crossing them out. The result was a complex and virtually incomprehensible algorithm, which he claimed was invented by Bacon to hide secret messages inside the First Folio. The greatest Easter egg hunt in the history of Western civilization had begun. Here are just a couple of the sillier highlights. A doctor named Orville Owen of Detroit constructed a bizarre research tool he called the Wheel of Fortune. This wheel consisted of 2 giant wooden spools wrapped with a strip of canvas 2 feet wide and 1,000 feet long. Onto this canvas, he glued the separate pages of the complete works of Bacon, Shakespeare, Marlowe, Greene, Peele, and Spenser, together with Burton's Anatomy of Melancholy. By cranking the spools back and forth, Dr. Owen could quickly zip across the pages in search of clues and cross-references. Employing a large team of secretaries and stenographers, Owen claimed to have uncovered a complete alternative history of Elizabethan England. as well as several entirely new Shakespeare plays and sonnets. Listen to this hidden verse, supposedly penned by the mighty bard himself, which inspired Dr. Owen to build his Wheel of Fortune. Take your knife and cut all our books asunder, and set the leaves on a great firm wheel, which rolls and rolls, and turning the fickle rolling wheel, throw your eyes upon Fortune, that goddess blind, that stands upon a spherical stone, that turning and inconstant rolls in restless variation. After publishing 5 thick volumes of this rubbish, Owen announced the discovery of an anagram, indicating that Bacon's original manuscripts were buried near Chepstow Castle on the River Wye. Owen spent the next 15 years and thousands of dollars excavating the bed of the river with boat crews and high explosives. He died before anything was found. A fellow named Arnsberg wrote an entire book based on the analysis of the significance of a suspicious crack in the tomb of Bacon's mother. A Ray of Sanity finally appeared in 1957. To those familiar with the science of cryptology, the name William Friedman needs little introduction. During World War II, Colonel Friedman was the head of the U.S. Army's Cryptoanalytic Bureau. He is credited with cracking the Japanese Empire's most sensitive cipher. After the war, the colonel decided to apply his expertise to the study of the Shakespeare ciphers. He interviewed several of the experts in the field and prepared a detailed scientific analysis, which he published under the title The Shakespeare Ciphers Examined. His conclusion? In a word, bunk. According to the standards of cryptologic science, not one of the hidden messages purportedly discovered in Shakespeare's works was plausible. The rules used to extract these messages from the texts were non-rigorous, wildly subjective, and unrepeatable by anyone except the original decipherer. The people involved were not being dishonest. They were channeling their preconceptions. They were trapped in a labyrinth of delusion, mining order from chaos. Anglers in a lake of darkness. Lear, Act 3, Scene 6. You would think that Friedman's cold and ruthless exposure would be enough to silence the heretics once and for all. Not a chance. The books and TV specials and websites and conferences and doctoral dissertations keep right on coming. I should point out that the Shakespeare authorship issue is not only the preoccupation of cranks and weirdos. A substantial number of respected authors and Shakespeareans have expressed serious doubts about the traditional origin of the plays. The list includes Nathaniel Hawthorne, Ralph Waldo Emerson, Walt Whitman, Henry James, Sam Clemens, Sigmund Freud, Orson Welles, and Sir John Gielgud. Living skeptics include the artistic director of the New Globe Theatre, Mark Rylance, Michael York, Derek Jacobi, Kenneth Branagh, and even that most revered and scholarly of contemporary Shakespearean actors, Keanu Reeves. The current leading candidate for the authorship is Edward de Vere.
This is interesting. I'm enjoying this one, actually.
A theory
it's a good one
first
to end
proposed in 1920 by an English schoolmaster with the unfortunate name J. Thomas Looney.
Great name.
What is it about Bach, the Bible, and the works of Shakespeare that inspires this intense scrutiny? Nobody's looking for acrostics in Chaucer or Keats. There are no hit CDs of the secret chorales of Wagner or Beethoven. For the answer, we need to recognize the unique roles which the Bible and Shakespeare have played in the development of Western culture. No other single work of literature has influenced modern English more than the translation of the Holy Bible published in 1611 under the auspices of King James I. The King James Bible exemplifies the meaning of the word classic. It has been called the noblest monument of English prose, the very greatest achievement of the English language. It has served as an inspiration for generations of poets, dramatists, musicians, politicians, and orators. Countless people have learned to read by repeating the phrases in this, the only book their family possessed. Our constitutions and our laws have been profoundly shaped by its cadences and imagery. But even the glory of the King James Bible, compiled by a committee of 46 editors over the course of a decade, pales before the dazzling legacy of the Swan of Avon. The lowest estimate of Shakespeare's working vocabulary is 15,000 words, more than 3 times that of the King James Bible, and twice the size of his nearest competitor, John Milton. His poems and plays were written without the aid of a dictionary or a thesaurus. They didn't exist yet. It was all in his head. When Shakespeare had a thought for which Elizabethan English had no word, he invented one.
That's very interesting.
The Oxford English Dictionary lists hundreds of everyday words and phrases which made their first appearance in the pages of the Bard. Addiction, alligator, assassination, bedroom, critic, dawn, design, dialogue, employer, film, glow, gloomy, gossip, hint, hurry, investment, lonely, luggage, manager, switch, torture, transcendence, wormhole, zany. Hamlet alone contains nearly 40 of these neologisms. Who today would have this audacity, this giddy exuberance of invention? Only one other English author even approaches Shakespeare's facility for coining new words: Sir Francis Bacon. In the modern era, the record holder is Charles Dodgson, better known as Lewis Carroll, who, interestingly, also happens to be the second most quoted author in English, after Shakespeare. Everyone has been profoundly molded by the influences of the King James Bible and Shakespeare. Like it or not, all of us peer at the world through the lenses of these great works. They are the primary source documents of modern English thought, the style guides of our minds. Contemplating these dazzling jewels of wisdom and eloquence gives rise to an extraordinary feeling, a potent, rare, and precious emotion with the potential to completely upset your life. An emotion powerful enough to make a man abandon his wife and children, forfeit career and reputation, lay down his possessions, and follow his heart without questioning. That sweet, sweet fusion of wonder and fear, irresistible attraction, and soul-numbing dread known as awe. Awe is the grail of artistic achievement. No other human emotion possesses such raw, transformative power, and none is more difficult to evoke. Few and far between are the works of man that qualify as truly awesome. It is awe that convinces a rabbi to spend a lifetime decoding Yahweh from the Pentateuch. Awe that sends millions of visitors each year to the pyramids of Giza, Guadalupe, and Mecca. It was awe that drove poor Delia Bacon to her doom. Now, please don't come away from this lecture thinking that the key to awesome game design is the installation of Easter eggs. Ordinary games with their contrived Easter eggs and cheat codes are like the Battery of the Month Club. You have to trudge down to the back of the store to get what you really came for. If superpower is what people really want, why not just give it to them? Is our imagination so impoverished that we have to resort to marketing gimmicks to keep players interested in our games? Awesome things don't hold anything back.
I mean, to be fair, it's kind of
Awesome things
true.
are rich and generous.
Gimmicks,
The treasure
games.
is right there. One afternoon, I was sitting alone behind the counter at that old Radio Shack store. My boss had stepped out for some reason. An elderly woman walked through the front door. Like most of our customers, she was shabbily dressed, probably on a fixed income. I assumed she was there for her free battery, but instead, she placed a portable radio on the counter. This little radio came from the days when they boasted about the number of transistors inside on the case. It was completely wrapped in dirty white medical tape. The woman looked at me and asked, "Can you fix this?" Slowly, I unwrapped the medical tape, peeling away the layers until the back cover of the radio fell off, accompanied by a cloud of red dust. The interior of the radio was half eaten away by battery leakage and corrosion. I looked at the radio. I looked at the old woman. I looked back at the radio. I reached behind me, where the expensive alkaline batteries were hanging like prescription medication, and removed a gleaming 9-volt cell from its gold blister pack. Then I pulled a brand new transistor radio from a box, installed the alkaline, and helped the lady find her favorite station. No money changed hands. She left the store without saying a word. Awesome things are kind of like that. Bach offered his students very specific insight into the source of awe. In addition to BACH, 2 other sets of initials are also associated with Bach's music. These initials are not hidden in the notes. Instead, they're scrawled right across the top of the manuscript for the whole world to see. The initials are SDG and JJ. SDG stands for the Latin phrase Sole Deo Gloria, to the glory of God alone. JJ stands for Jesu Juva, help me, Jesus. Bach wrote all of his great masterpieces sub specie eternitatis, under the aspect of eternity. He did not compose only to please his sponsors or to win the approval of an audience. His work was his worship. Bach once wrote, "Music should have no other end and aim than the glory of God and the recreation of the soul. Where this is not kept in mind, there is no true music, but only an infernal clamor and ranting." The name of the power that moves you is not important. What is important is that you are moved. Awe is the foundation of religion. No other motivation can free you from the limits of personal achievement. Nothing else can teach you the art of flight. Computer games are barely 40 years old. Only a few words in our basic vocabulary have been established. A whole dictionary is waiting to be coined. The slate is clean.
Wait, so our
Someday
adding
soon,
to the vocabulary of
even in our
humans is like
lifetime,
memes and
a
KW.
game design will appear that will flash across our culture
Hippo
like
happy.
lightning.
Easy clap.
It will be easy to recognize.
Bit different to Shakespeare.
It will be generous, giddy with exuberant inventiveness. Scholars will pick it apart for decades, perhaps centuries. It will be something wonderful, something terrifying, something awful.
Oh, the puns.
A few years ago, I was invited to speak at a conference in London. My wife joined me, and we took a day off for some sightseeing. We decided to visit England's second biggest tourist attraction, Stratford-upon-Avon. It was cold and rainy when our train arrived. Luckily, most of the attractions are just a short walk from the station. We visited Shakespeare's birthplace, a charming old house along the main street, which attracts millions of pilgrims every year, despite the complete lack of any evidence that Shakespeare was born there or even lived anywhere near it. We went past the school where Shakespeare learned to read and write, although no documents exist to prove his attendance. We visited Anne Hathaway's cottage, the rustic country farm where his wife spent her childhood, although no record shows anyone by that name ever having lived there. Finally, we came to the one location undeniably associated with Shakespeare, Trinity Parish Church, on the banks of the River Avon, where a man by that name is buried. This beautiful church is approached by a long walkway between rows of ancient gravestones, shaded by tall trees. The entrance door is surprisingly tiny. No cameras are allowed inside. The interior is dark and quiet. Despite the presence of busloads of tourists, the atmosphere is hushed and respectful. A few people are seated in the pews, deep in prayer. An aisle leads up the center of the church. The left side of the altar is brightly illuminated. On the wall above is a famous bust of the bard, quill in hand, gazing serenely at the crowd of pilgrims. On the floor beneath, surrounded by bouquets of flowers, at the very spot where Delia Bacon lost her mind, the gravestone of William Shakespeare bears this dire warning. Good friend, for Jesus' sake, forbear to dig the dust enclosed here. Blessed be the man who spares these stones, and cursed be he that moves my bones. Every year, 3 million pilgrims arrive from every nation on earth to approach this stone and consider the likeness of a man whose body of work can only be described as awesome. By contrast, the right side of the altar is dark and featureless. Nobody of any consequence is buried there. The only point of interest is a wooden case of simple design, carved of dark oak. Inside the case, sealed beneath a thick sheet of glass, lies a large open book. A plaque on the case identifies this book as a first edition of the King James Bible, published in 1611, when Shakespeare was 46. Not many pilgrims visit this side of the altar. Most of those that do simply glance at the book, read the plaque, and move along. A few, more observant, note that the Bible happens to be opened to a page in the Old Testament, the book of Psalms, chapter 46. No explanation is given for this particular choice of pages. For the initiated, none is necessary. If you are of inquisitive bent, if you are intrigued by English history and literature, if you value your peace of mind, cover your ears.
I've lost my peace of
now.
mind. This game.
In the year 1900, a scholar noticed something about the King James translation of Psalm 46. Something terrifying. Something wonderful. The 46th word from the beginning of Psalm 46 is shake. The 46th word from the end is spear.
Oh my god, stop.
There are only two possibilities here. Either this is the finest coincidence ever recorded in the history of world literature, or it is not.
This is brilliant,
The
this
Earth
video.
revolves around only one sun and has only one moon. The moon happens to be 400 times smaller than the sun. The sun happens to be 400 times farther away. And the apparent paths of the moon and sun in our sky happen to intersect exactly twice every month. Which means that every now and then, at long yet precisely predictable intervals, the lunar disk slips across the face of the sun and just barely conceals it for a few wonderful, terrible minutes. A fine coincidence, no?
We're getting close.
In June of
Let's not mess this up.
1977, a little man with divergent eyes and a talent for mischief ascended a hilltop in the British village of Ampthill. At the summit of this hill is a tall, slender cross, a memorial to Catherine of Aragon, the first wife of Henry VIII. The sun, high in the south, cast the shadow of the cross upon the grassy hillside. At exactly 12 noon, the man removed from his pocket a bar magnet.
Oh god, we get there.
He turned the magnet so its north pole was facing south and buried it under the shadow of the cross. 2 years later, a few hours before the publication of his first book, the man returned to that hillside, this time in the dead of night. He used a compass to locate the magnet he had buried. In that same place, he dug a hole in the ground and placed inside a ceramic container inscribed with the following words: I am the keeper of the jewel of masquerade, which lies waiting safe inside me, you or eternity.
We done. Kind of sad now. We did it. I want more. That was so good, and that was perfect. I'm so glad we saved that video till the end. That was a brilliant video. It's probably that one and forgotten the guy's name. The other one that I did yesterday again. Oh. Credits. Yeah, that was a perfect. We got the perfect last audio log yesterday. Perfect video. Oh, yep, let's do that. There we go. 523 solved, plus 135, plus 6. And look what I did it on 2121. Oh, look at the symmetry. 2121 on 2020. Spoopy. 666 minus 2. Oh, that was awesome. video links for sure. 42. I cannot wait to now sit and watch videos about this game. Now I've played it. No spoilers, no nothing. Just... Oh, what a game, dude. I was not expecting this game when I started on the 16th of November. Sora, thank you for the follow. I really appreciate that. We just finished up. We are 100%, 100%. Done it all. Electron Dance the Unbearable now, and Brian Moriarty's I Saw What I Did That. Okay, let's just do my own favourite thing, which is now take pictures of my screen with my phone, so I don't forget. Well, I'll still have that open. Is there any videos on YouTube talking about, I suppose, this game in depth? Uh, theories, I don't know, anything. I'd love to know more lore. Oh, you'll get, is you need to give you a, oh, I've just tabbed out if something goes on. I need to, no, I don't want to purge, stop. Oh my god, my bot is kind of harsh. Uh, I spelled your name wrong. That's great. There you go. You can post the links now. There you go, thank you. Start with the two more suggested and you'll get led down, back on that, led down that the analyst interpretation rabbit hole. First suggested plus many more. The fun thing is deciphering the story. Yeah. Okay, thank you. I'll have that saved in my chat so I can click on that now. I want to know. I do want to know more. Now I've completed it fully. Even though that last video was really fun. I love the whole conspiracy stuff was like quite funny. And that was really entertaining last video compared to like I said, some of them kind of was they dragged on a little bit. But I think it's because the narrator, speaker, he was very entertaining with how he presented all of that lecture. But we done. A secret vid. Ooh. I haven't actually sat and focused on the Psalm 46 for quite some time. It was a lot of fun hearing it fully as well. I was like, when it said that, when it was like shake, and then the last bit was like spit, and I was like, oh my god. And by the top, wait, every time I was going, oh my god, that was me just in a jokey way. How it all like dots together and lines up is quite something. It's gone off. Wow. We did it. Don't know how many hours we had in the end. I will check on Steam in a sec. Yeah, like good point. Oh, we got to look at the monument. Monument. I still call it a bloody monument. Obelisk. There we go. Fully done. Go to the lake. The funny thing was, when I started this game, the one place that I avoided, other than the mountain, as you know, like I didn't want to do mountain, was the town. I avoided this so much because I was trying to do the outskirts, and I eventually got to mountain. There we go. Hey, the fountain is no longer an old man. Brian Moriarty is a really cool dude. I recently watched him argue that video games can never be art. That's an interesting concept, really. Because obviously there is art in video games. Point in case, look at this. This is just stunning. It's gonna be weird. I'm definitely gonna replay this game in the future. I'm gonna leave it for a bit though, because I want to forget what I've learned. I want to try and go back into it completely afresh. But definitely one of the most unique games I've ever played. And just the fact there is so much hidden in this game that some people that have played this game and never found. You just want to like scream and shout, like, go look over there, because you don't want anybody to miss out on this hidden stuff. It's been a great ride. Hopefully you'll get to upload your VODs to YouTube. I actually never saw the very beginning, so I might watch one you uploaded now. Yeah, I will be honest with you. The very beginning, I didn't understand the concept that well, but the more I played, the more I suppose got attuned to the puzzles and what they were suggesting, the better I become. If you do ! Video, that should be the first VOD upload. I'm hoping it's worked. It should be live now. Oh, chat is moving too quick. Didn't read the rest of that. Yeah. Thank you for joining for the ride. And what a ride it's been. Gee, let me quickly look. How many hours do I have? Oh, I can't do it that way. Tab out quickly. I can't do it through that. Oh, it's still stuck at 44.4 hours, which that was before today. So, we're over 45 hours, potentially 46. Tab back in. That's the next lesson, learning to not say anything in Twitch chat. Yeah. It was definitely, you know, being on the other side was different because I'd never watched a witness stream before. And seeing someone so close yet so far. Yeah, you just like. But at the same time, you don't want to say anything because when you're on that side, you don't want spoilers. You don't want spoilers, you don't want anything. You just want, you know, it's like little bits of hints without saying, oh, well, if you go over here, you'll discover this and stuff like that. That's why yesterday, I like, the way we did the lakes revealing was just perfect. That Eureka moment was just boom. Never ever forget the existence of environmental puzzles. There's something special about that, yeah. And HS was here for my first environmental puzzle, and I will show you which one it is. You know, because I was up here looking. I think, yeah, I was like, oh, what's going on here? Let's have a look about. And I was like, oh, there's a big hole. There's a circle. I'm gonna click that. And that was the start. That was the start. That just like, I'm just gonna click this random circle. And then fireworks appeared, and I was like, what the heck? And yeah, once you start clicking the circles, you just can't stop looking for circles, and you start seeing circles everywhere. It's just, it's crazy how you go through the game just like, oh, we're just doing puzzle panels and all stuff like that. And then you see this first circle, and then it's like a completely different game now because you're like, oh, where's the next circle? You know, it's just, it's crazy. Yeah, HS is a pro. And I know Mordecai's a pro as well. So, you guys are awesome. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for all the follows. Thank you for joining me on the ride. I really appreciate it. But that was the same one. Oh yeah, I remember you saying about that. EP Twins, heck yeah. Boom. Where it all started, man. And then the broken laser, which I didn't understand while it was broken. Which HS you played brilliantly dumb on when I mentioned it. And then finding my first trip to the mountain, which took forever. And I said, okay, let's go to the mountain. And then, yeah. We won't mention the other Keck W moments and whatnot. Rand Circle is in the roof the one of the most... Yeah, and that was the brilliant bit. When I was doing the EPs... Yesterday? I think it was when I was doing the EPs yesterday. From the videos, and I was standing up here because I've left the video playing. And the way it echoes up, the sound in the game is so good. It's literally like you're in a theatre. Well, a literal theatre with the, you know, just the sound bouncing off the walls was just perfect. Oh, thank you. I don't know if this is one of you guys, but thank you for subscribing to my YouTube. I just got a notification. Hey, pretty cool. I didn't know it notified me of that. But yeah. What a game. Better not skip uploading 0x to YouTube. 0x, what? I'm confused. Mordecai, thank you for chilling. I really appreciate it. You've been awesome. Thank you for all the information, added lore, and the videos. I'll be watching those videos. Thank you so much. Have a good evening. I don't want to leave this world. It's too pretty. It's just relaxing. I will upload every VOD. It just, for some reason, when you, what's the word? I can't think of the word. Not transfer. When you, like, take it from Twitch to YouTube, it takes a while because how long it is. Been a great ride. Looking forward to whatever you got planned next. Well, my next plan, I did take a look at the game that Mordecai mentioned, recommended, so I'm probably going to get that because it's in the winter sale right now and it's quite cheap and it's got really good reviews. But we got The Pedestrian, Talos Principles, which I've got all the, I think there's DLC to that, I've got that. And then I will get that game that Mordecai recommended. So we got 3 puzzle games to look at. But I don't think any are going to live up to this one. I know I'll enjoy them, but yeah, this was something else, this game. And I know you guys have all played it, but I would just thoroughly recommend it to anyone that has not played this game, who loves puzzles, who's just... yeah. I think probably today will sum up how varied games I like, what I'm fans of. I spent an hour, a couple hours this morning playing Ark because I love survival-y type games, and then I played like 4 or 5 hours playing COD, and then I end on this just like serene puzzle game. I have a wide kind of variety when it comes to games. It's very bizarre, so yeah. But there'll always be a special place for puzzle games for me. Especially games like this, when it comes to like the art side of it, it's just great. Come back and wander around anytime. Like, yeah, you could. It's just a nice break as well. It's just come in here and just sit by the water. Just pretty. Get away from everything in the real world. Try to get new. I think I'll be a little bit. I think, I might do that in the future, Mordecai, but I'm definitely gonna have a break first. Although, again, that was another case of coming back to the game fresh start on a new stream, and I get it first time. Yeah, when you play a really great game, never recapture that first time playing it. You never do. I've played some of those, a lot of those. I mean, this year I played the new Ori, and that was something else. I really enjoyed new Ori, and I actually played for it technically 3 times to get all the achievements and stuff like that. But the first time was just amazing. But that's the beauty of this, doing it through Twitch. I've got my first experiences of these games, so they're always there. So I can always like look back on them, because I do. When it comes to my streams, I always highlight all my VODs so I don't lose any content when it comes to story games. Like if it's COD or something, I don't do it. But when it comes to like story-based games, like I've done Ori, I've done Assassin's Creed, that type of thing. Oh look, I've been seeing circles everywhere. Ever since that first circle, everywhere I look, there is a circle. New Ori's brilliant. I love New Ori. And the music in that game, the art style, just... No spoilers, but you will never forget the ending to the second Ori. That's all I'm saying. Just, yeah. Easily my... Of all the games that I've played this year that have come out this year, easily my game of the year. But yeah, I've 100%ed New Ori on Steam. I got all the achievements. I played on hard, one life mode. I did all of that because I'm a sado. But yeah, you will enjoy it. And I can't wait for number 3. When it eventually comes out, how they will progress the story. But number 2 is brilliant. I think number 2 was like the perfect... Number 2 was the perfect length, where obviously the first game was a lot shorter. But I really enjoyed second Ori, or for sure. I don't know. It's not as hard as you think, because you can do one life mode on easy, and I don't know what I played originally on normal, then I had to do the hard difficulty for that achievement. But then yeah, so when I did one life, I played on easy, and I'm gonna be honest with you, easy you destroy people, enemies. So it's, yeah. I had great difficulty on one of the boss fights when I first played, but then when I did my one life mode, I walked it. Well, I didn't actually. That's a lie. I did struggle. I'm stubborn, okay? So I'll just sit there and I will play and play until I get an achievement, or I just give up and I come back the next day. And one of the boss fight achievements was, yeah, I got there eventually, and yeah, I was just like over the moon. That was like my last achievement to get, was this boss fight, and then I finally got 100. Well, it's one of those things, and I'll let you into a secret. If you want to do one life mode, you do have the power of, because obviously in the first game you don't, it's done differently, but you've got the save mode, you've got the save files, so you can go back if you do die. That's mostly how it's recommended. I think on my one life mode, I technically died twice, I think, and I think that was in a boss fight each time. But you just I'm gonna be honest with you, it's save scumming. So technically I didn't do it pure, but yeah, you can go in and you do a load game. No, because the first one, the only way you could save is if you used up your light orbs, if you remember. You had to, like, you did like this, you held a button and you did a weird animation, and that was where your last save was, and then if you died, that was where you respawned. But yeah, there is save files on this one. You have hope. Yeah, you'll do it. You'll kick butt. But yeah, Ori 2, just... That was a game and a half. I think that was... Oh no, I did buy it. I was going to say that was the last game I bought full price, but it wasn't. Right. Where should we end? I kind of want to be around the lake, but at the same time I kind of want to be up the mountain. I think we'll end at the lake. And also, I recommend when it comes to doing stuff like that, look up what are the best abilities to have. Because when I was doing it, when I did my normal playthrough, I never used a certain ability, and it's thoroughly recommended because of the damage it does when you're doing the one life mode. So, or one life achievement run, I should say. But yeah, this is it. 100% complete. One last look. 523 sold. 135 plus 6. Yeah, it's called Spike something. I can't remember what it's called now. Oh, I could do. That's a good call actually, Mike. Let's do that. We will call the boat at town. That's a very good suggestion. We can have a tour, and I can tell you every place that I messed up and how I messed up. But when you upgrade I can't remember what it's called now. It's the spiky thingy. We are going to go around this way. Because I started... Yeah, so... which way should we go? I don't think I've ever gone around this bit. We won't go all the way around that. We'll go... Let's go. The starting area seems so long ago now. But once you upgrade that, like, spear thingy, whatever it's called, you just do insane damage. The starting area where it all begun. And there's a doggo up there. There's something to see over by the treehouse if you haven't seen it. Oh, okay. I kind of wanted to go this way just purely due to the fact that we can do funny stories because we can end on, you know, XW story. I enjoyed this part. This was a fun area. And then we got the laser, which was technically the last laser I did because I completely missed it. Lift your head to the left. Okay. I'm not cutting it off at all, am I? See, I don't think I've ever travelled in this way before. I've always gone on the outside, so I'm curious. The desert area, the temple. I think this area was the first area that I did not understand. And this is the first Dorito puzzle I did. Last time I rode the boat round this way, I had so much left in this game. quarry where we got introduced to the fixer. And that one, geez. I eventually got it. Took a while. The trees, I think that was when you started watching HS, was when I was doing the shady trees area. This one took a while, this environmental puzzle. We did this a few times. Right, I will slow down a bit. We'll go 3. 3 should be enough. Treehouse, that was fun. I enjoyed Treehouse. Blooming shipwreck puzzle. That door. Yeah, I don't think I ever took the boat through this part. We won't mention that dock. It doesn't exist in my head, okay? No KWs happened there. This stream is a PogChamp only stream. Keep an eye on the shoreline. Okay. So I need to... Shut up, Dodge. Yeah, you want to tilt your head to left. Right, okay. So look at the shoreline and tilt head to left. Am I going to miss this? Am I going to be a pleb? Oh, should I have gone the long way round? Keep an eye on the shoreline, shoreline, shoreline. Oh, is it to do with the statue? Yeah, okay. I think I know where I'm supposed to go. What if... really, game? Oh, I can't do that. Okay, let me go here to go back. I'm assuming it's to do with the view you see of that. Watch the rocks. Watch the rocks on the floor. Is it the girl? Am I looking at this statue or this statue? There's a... Oh. I can see that lady there. We got that lady there. We got a lady there. Looks like she's pointing. Or did I miss one back here? Right, okay, so right back to the treehouse. Okay. Next to the Martian. Oh, so these rocks. So riding back to treehouse and then ride back to this area. Oh, I'm going too fast. There's something to do with this. There's some weird rock. We'll go back to 3 speed then. Head tilted to the left. Oh, guess what I did? I just tilted my head to the right because I'm a pleb. It's a outline of a person laying down on their side. There's a hand and their arm, their head. Oh my god, that's so cool. That's really cool. Oh my god, we're back at this dock. Okay, another thing where you don't notice it initially, and then you go past it again, and then boom. Alright, it's ending town. One last Easter egg, eh? See a very clear effect. Okay, see if we can see it on the way. I'm assuming it'll be clearer on the way because you've not got the wake of the boat. That's really cool. Head, neck, shoulder, arm, hand, butt, leg, knee. That's really cool. So clever. Right, let's end in the town. Oh. Didn't we, like, we had one meltdown in the marshy area with that stupid turntable, which we won't talk about at all, ever. Mountain was pretty decent. I don't think I got stuck too much. Obviously the... Hello, Mr. Wonka Beta. That other area, which we won't talk about. We spent a good amount of hours in there, but we got there eventually. This was a fun area. I enjoyed this, the colour area. Bringing that puzzle into the game is pretty fun. The jungle area with the audio. Yeah. Don't talk about that. This was kind of like a weird area, this bit. There was nothing really to it, but it was just neat. Into the park. One game to add to your list for future. Return of the Obra Dinn. Obra Dinn? That would be fun to watch you play at some point, I don't know. Okay, I will have a look at that on Steam. I'll take a look at that. While the sale's on, I don't mind spending a few quid on some games that I'm going to enjoy. There we go. Back to town. One last boat trip for a while at least. Well, approximately 46 hours in this game. All puzzles done. All monument. Why do I still keep monument? All obelisks done. All audio logs found. I think it's a good place to call it. One of the most important places, the lake. This has been an awesome game to play, and it's been great to share it with you guys. I really appreciate you chilling. Drop in the lore. The few hints and tips have been appreciated. Great experience. Can't believe we did it. 100% done. Oof. Easily one of the most enjoyable and, well, easily one of the most deep games I've ever played. So much to this game. So many Easter eggs, secrets. Loved it. Been frustrating in parts because of me being a pleb. But we learnt. We had to reteach ourselves a few times. But I thoroughly enjoyed this game, and hope there's a Witness 2 in the future. I will definitely be playing that. But yeah. On Monday, I will start a new puzzle game, which I'm not sure which one it is. I'm really glad that I finished this game, like you said, before the year's out. That's like awesome. Brilliant way to end it. It's either going to be the pedestrian or the one that Mordecai recommended. And I'll also take a look at that game that you recommended for HS. Yep. I still plan to do Monday to Wednesday, I will do puzzle stream, puzzle game. And on Fridays is my chill shoot stuff with Dodgy. So this Friday we're going to do Dead Space 3 campaign, because I've done Dead Space 1 and 2. So completely different to the puzzle. But yeah, I know. But yeah. So I'll be back Friday for some shooting McShooties. And then on Monday I will start a new puzzle game. Gonna be weird not playing this game, I tell you that. But yeah. I hope you guys have a great New Year's Eve. Just to end this year, you know. And I hope you guys have a great start to 2021. But yeah, thank you for all the follows. Thank you for talking and chilling in chat. Thank you for joining me on this venture. So I'll be back Friday, some shooty games, and I'll be back Monday for a new puzzle game. Is there? Let's have a quick look. See if there's anyone that I can quickly raid again. Is Mr. Blake streaming right now? If I can give him a raid, I don't mind again. Is he? No, what was it? Blake AJB. He's not streaming. Don't think. Yeah, I don't have any friends streaming right now. Well, that's a good way to end anyway. We can leave it there. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for chilling. Appreciate it, especially you, HS. Been awesome. Thank you for joining on the ride, and yeah, have a great new year. Hopefully, see you again soon. Yeah, Dead Space 3 starts Friday. New puzzle game starts Monday. Let's do it. But what a game. Have a good evening. Have a good night. And good night.